Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? All right. Looks like the sound is good. How y'all doing today? Thanks for joining me. Sweet. There we go. Okay, welcome to episode 173 of SEO this week. Thank you all for joining me. As I said, this week we're going to take a look at 7 stories I've got that are it's pretty decent information. Obviously, I wouldn't share it with you if it sucked, right? And then I want to go over one of the questions last week was, could I go over how I would do keyword research for a market I don't know anything about? And I thought that would be a good topic for the episode. So I'm going to just go kind of show you my process. Really, keyword research is not, there's not a whole lot of rocket science involved in it. You just kind of have to verify your numbers and verify your decision making and what you're doing and make sure that you have the right verticals that you're going after when you're setting up your pages and you're doing all your targeting and stuff like that. So you do it all and you figure it all out there in the keyword research phase. That way, when you get to web design section and all that madness, everything goes a whole lot easier. So I'll talk about that and then answer any questions you got. As always, if you want to support the show, buy one of my things, yo. You can go to whatranks.com and pick up my schema course. It's $297 right now. As I figure out the affiliate stuff and I figure out landing pages and funnels, if I want to go all that craziness, then and bring in new affiliates, I'm going to raise the price to $497. So get in while you can. You'll be taking advantage of my procrastination. So. And then also I have the link service at magic.digitalear.com. You can find a link below in the description. That's that reciprocal linking network I went over 2 episodes ago. I've got a couple of feedback things from people that signed up for the free one. Like I told you, there's a free account in there if you sign it up and test it. And so people have given me some feedback and saying they're seeing that really decent results with it in multiple verticals. So it's free to sign up and test it out, and then you can join per keyword, put your clients in there, whatever you want to do. So it really works. And today you're going to see SE Cockpit. I get the affiliate link for that inside of the description as well. So there you go. Pay me some money, yo. Okay, so let's get on with the news. I'm going to switch over to the screen. There we go. And you can see the first one is actually a tweet. So what Google has done, if you get an error in there where your site's triggered as malware, etc., and you just can't get rid of it any other way, then you can do this report a security issue button. They have a link to it inside of the tweet. You can mess around with that if you want to and check it out and kind of help you fix any malware issues that have come up because your site was legitimately hacked, or maybe just GoogleBot screwed up and you need to report that to try to get it fixed. So that's pretty good. Their system in the before when you're doing that was actually pretty responsive, and that was all pre-COVID. And I haven't had to do any malware cleanups post-COVID, maybe because everyone's paying attention and actually keeping their stuff updated versus not updating their plugins and then crying that their website got hacked. Which, sucks for me because I get paid less to do malware cleanups, but it's great for you as webmasters because you're finally keeping up with it and keeping your website safe. So keep that all in mind in total when you're looking at this. And if you don't get any responses and you need to get that cleared, you need to get those messages out of the browsers, i.e. the site is malware warning, all that stuff, then this would probably be a good route to go. All other things being failing you. Next is a post by Ahrefs. These guys are putting out some decent stuff in relation to how to use their content. And one of the big things, and really it kind of bugs me. I'm not sure if it bugs anyone else. Are these traffic graphs, right? And the reason it bugs me is because they're all estimations based off of percentages and where your page is ranking, and then this is what we estimate you would get, assuming that the C2 click through rate is right. And I think the number they use is 32%. The last I checked, they probably could stand to update it and lower that probably around 29% to get even closer numbers. But even still, it's going to be a flat out guess. Obviously, you could probably put this site in Google Analytics and it would look more like something like this. You know what I mean? So these numbers are actually, they're kind of good and kind of bad to show clients because you could set an expectation this high, but only be able to deliver this high. And that can get you in some trouble. So if you're going to do this, you're going to follow this method, make sure that you are keeping track and are properly articulating that it's only a projection. It's based off of X, Y, and Z. But these are certainly within our goals and what we're going to when we create our search strategy, right? So you can go through this post. It actually tells you how to set up the predictive feature traffic volume, competitor traffic volume, and the value of it. And so that is actually really cool to add to your proposals so that you can say, this is, based off of the estimations and what we see based off the estimations of what your competitors are looking at, we should be able to, this is kind of gives us an indication that we're going in the right direction, right? Obviously, you could pick a word with 14,000 search volume, set your geo targeting for a specific place, and turn out that you're not getting anything in that. And you can verify that with PPC and whatever else. But this won't get you in too much trouble. And really, at the end of the day, you're just forecasting. So if you're clear with the clients that you're forecasting, that's going to knock it out. So check this post out. It's a really good use of the tool. I like these because they actually take time to say, hey, this is how we use the tool and this is how we use the information in it. So this is good. And then there's some script stuff in here that they give you as well. This one is Mark Williams' Cook blog. How I accidentally found people's bank statements online. And what he did is build a scraper. He built a scraper, and that scraper actually found a whole bunch of people's bank statements. And then he goes through the entire story here. The lesson here is, one, make sure your bank's not doing that. Two, get cool at building your own scrapers and you can find some cool stuff. And then three is Google is indexing PDFs. And if Google is indexing PDFs, what is the link value of PDFs? And there hasn't been all that much in testing in that realm. Is, what can you put in a PDF? Do links from the PDF work? People say yes, they do, but there's no definitive. I tested this and this works. So we're gonna look at that and test that in SIA. You can join SEO Intelligence Agency if you want and see the results from there. Maybe I'll publish it in IMG as well, just to see what we can do some more with PDFs and different PDF posting sites and stuff. So then there is a fourth lesson. If you are using drives that index, Google Drive, pCloud, etc., and storing this kind of stuff, you need to stop it, smack yourself, lock it up, make sure that there's no way whatsoever it can get indexed, and protect yourself. So this is a cool story. There's not a whole lot of practical application. Like, it would have been awesome to get a copy of his scraper to crawl the web. That would have been cool. And you can use that to find more link targets, right? But obviously he didn't offer that, but it would have been awesome to see that. Good story nonetheless. 5 things you didn't know about GoogleBot. This is kind of rolls over some of the patent stuff and puts it in plain English. And some things that it'll do, like GoogleBot skipping URLs, partitioning the tiers for recrawling, not going to reindex click-through rate and internal linking, etc. It's really well written. It's in plain English to help you and your teams understand the value of log files and seeing what Googlebot's doing and getting hung up here and there and being able to correct all that stuff. And partially, you might even be able to come up with an answer to indexing issues if you have that on your money sites, in particular if you're dealing with a large money site. That I can understand how that could be a problem. This one is technicalseo.com. It's how embedded YouTube videos can improve organic traffic. And we'll go through over too much of it, but the long and short of it is use schema and capture the featured snippets. And then ergo, you may or may not get more traffic from doing that. So something valuable just to think about, especially if your search term that you're doing, and it's, let's say it's a branded thing like SEO this week. It makes sense to put video schema on the episodes, right? So that the video carousel will show up, which it does with the YouTube channel. And then, if possible, I get the featured snippet click through on there too. But for the most part, it's just really cool to do. And if you're going to take time to write, let's say a 10,000 word article, you can bust that up and do a little script. Make a 3 to 5 minute video kind of highlighting all the stuff that's in your 10,000 word article, and then use that to promote the article and get an extra link from YouTube, etc. So definitely worth it. Brian Dean's got a good system where he kind of does that. He doesn't really post a new article without a video associated with it. So check him out and then model what he's doing. This is Alieta Solis. Hopefully, I'm probably destroying her name, but it's a data studio dashboard. I love doing those things, but really, what at the end of the day, what this does is it walks you through comparing the different devices and how you're getting traffic, and also it gives you a little bit of positioning where you can try to, you could probably modify this and put conversions in here as well and see if that mobile traffic is actually converting versus desktop, etc. And if you want to be wasting your time doing things like worrying about your mobile page speed scores, for example, if your market and your buyers are only on using desktop, let's say they come to mobile, they check it out, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and then they come back to desktop and they actually buy stuff. That might be really good information to know if your e-com and your particular product is one of those smaller priced ones that people are just going to be like, "Oh, I'll go ahead and buy that on their phone." You can do that as well, and kind of look at that at the same time. Or if you're just an informational site, you may have way more mobile traffic than desktop. And then you can leverage AMP, for example, to kind of to go after it even more and give yourself greater opportunities. So I check out all this post, check out the Data Studio template, plug it in, and see where you're at. It's just good information to have. So and there's some top queries and stuff like that all inside of there at the same time, which will help you with some of your maintaining keyword research as your campaigns grow. Strategy first SEO approach. This one's actually, it's not long, but you can actually take this and turn this into a nice infographic. If you guys have been following along and talk about infographics and Pinterest as link building and traffic opportunities. So this is one of those kind of posts where I was referencing that would really do well with an infographic. Just get a designer and come through and do that. Or turning his post into a spreadsheet and just, go check yes, no, and go down these questions. And you have this nice little checklist of what's going on in regards to creating and developing an SEO strategy. And then as on the topic of SEO strategy, if you scroll down here, you see a summarization graphic right there. Who are we now? Or where are we now? Where are we going? And how do we get there? And if you can kind of talk this through your clients, is actually a good proposal system too. You can do a proposal, a pre-audit, and then this is and kind of outline based off of your own in-house SOPs, etc. The how do we get there part, and create a good proposal out of that, and then turn that proposal into your process map, leveraging something like Ryan Stewart's The Blueprint, or Trello, or whatever you're doing for project management. And then you have ultimately right there a built-in system for proposal, straight into onboarding, straight into getting the work done. So really cool post. I think you can get a lot out of this. I'm thinking of kind of breaking this down into actual video all by itself, and that'd be actually really cool just for traffic gen and some link building from the video sites. And then finally, this is probably the big news for the week. Really, is Apple's saying that they're giving a lot of indications that they're going to finally launch their search platform. And I say finally because these quote unquote indications have been around for quite some time, and people have been tossing back and forth. Are they going to do it? Are they not? Can they do it? Can they be successful? Can they not? It's the wealthiest company on the planet right now. Their valuation is even higher than Google. So to underestimate the idea that they can make a search engine at or near the level of Google, you'd be sadly mistaken. And they have a lot of brand advocates and a lot of, I'll say, Mac lovers. And if and when they decide to do this, kick this over and make a Apple search engine the default for Apple devices versus paying Google for Google paying them for the opportunity to make Google the default for all of their devices. I think they're going to kill it. I really do. So I'm excited to see this because competition breeds something better, and maybe the search results in Google will actually get better if Apple's search results turn out really good. Some things I would like to see is them to remove the authority or the favoritism towards directory sites and local, and make it a even playing field for legit local businesses or websites that are actually representing legit local businesses to succeed, versus favoring the home advisors, Angie's List, and all that crap that just gives you, uh, you know, you have to go in there and search again. So answering a search with the search to me has always been dumb. So I don't know why Google does it, but that's one thing I'd be interested to see. And I think it'd be really cool to see SEO wise. So they're already talking about features. They're already talking about getting rid of Google. They already have their own bot that's doing crawling. You can see as evidence here by the crawling thing. They already have SEO factors section, all that stuff in their documentation. So I don't think they're far off for making a good solid search engine and putting a dent in that market share. Hopefully, honestly, if they also, the second thing is they treat it more seriously than what Microsoft has done with Bing. If they can treat it more seriously than Bing and not be like a afterthought product, then it'd be a good chance to take away, I would think, at least a third of the market share from Google, which would be awesome. Because Mac users generally, an iPhone costs a lot of money, iPad, the iMacs, all that stuff. It's not cheap, so it's indicating that the users have money and are willing to spend it. And if you have a new and exciting thing that they are interested in, then you're going to be off to the races in a Mac-based audience, right? So I think that's really cool. Alrighty, so let's go to any questions on the news? Let's do that. Open up SE Cockpit. Okay, no questions. Good. All right, so the next step is or the next part of the show, I just want to go over the keyword research stuff. It looks like we're rocking right along. We might even knock this out in a half hour. It'd be good, a half hour show. So, what I use for keyword research is SE Cockpit. You guys can honestly, use whatever you want, whatever makes you feel happy and joyous inside. This is my go-to keyword research tool. I had them like forever. They are more expensive than the other ones, but really it doesn't bother me. I like the interface. I like the data. I just like the way everything presents itself. Right. So that's my reasoning for using this. You again use whatever you want to use. I sort by a couple things. One, you can see all these green bars and stuff. Not too bad. And then you can sort by a niche to kind of build that out and say which, these are closer to what you're doing, and you can actually monetize them a little bit better. And then I like this is the top results and the level of competition, really, at the end of the day, what that's telling me. Sometimes that could be a little bit off. Well, most times. And you just kind of have to use your experience and see what's ranking in there. And one good boost about this is also these little icons, and that's an indication that the numbers, the niche, the competition's low, the traffic's high. You can get some decent. There's some real potential there. This is a magic keyword, I guess you want to do it, or um, just a diamond keyword, whatever you want to, however you want to indicate it, so that you can go after like roofing companies if you're doing a directory kind of thing, or roofers or whatever. Tin roofing. The market's underserved. There's a lot of commercial intent, so you get to the icon and you have a shot at turning that into some money. And then the other thing I like about it is I can actually click on one of these things here and it'll open up a new tab. And it'll show me who's ranking, and I can kind of balance that out with the metrics here, links, etc., and see what's going on and compare that with what's in here. Just at a glance and see, can I compete with these? You know what I mean? So let's say I was trying to rank clintbutler.net for that. There's all greens, but those are all reds. I might be able to get it in here. I have a little bit of trouble getting them above these ones, right? Based off of their domain authority and stuff. So and here's a good example: Angie's List, Home Advisor, Home Advisor. Those are all three. It's the same damn company. And Home Advisor just bought more of the local search results by buying Angie's List. At the end of the day, that's what they did. And you push real local businesses down. So look, there's 1, 2, 3 local businesses, and then the maps. I wonder if that was intentional. Okay, so really what I do is I start off here, and in this case, just the Roofer Phoenix is kind of where I'm going. I want to look in here and see, one, are there any diamonds that I can get out of here? I want to look at traffic volume. I don't necessarily want to, I don't really care about this number, 135,000, because it's roofers. And then if you look at Roofers Phoenix, let me look at that specific one. Roofer Phoenix right here, you see this 1300. So that's more my speed. And these are all really broken down local. And then you can filter this one more time and just click it. And anything above here is probably worth my time. And you look at these two. So Phoenix contractors, cost per click's pretty low. Not a lot of people going after it, but this one is, this one. Metal roofing, not a lot of people going after it. Roofing supply, not a lot of, and contractors in Phoenix, not a lot of. So this will help me kind of start building my list. In my list, if I was looking at this and I'll just kind of select these so you can see. These are the terms that I would pick for, select the text. If I was starting off inside here. And I'll share those in the chat. Spacing's gone, so you have to add spacing. I put them in the chat. Okay, so I'd pick these. And that's where I'd get going. I'm actually starting off in Roofers Phoenix, and I'm going to look at that specifically. I expect to see Angie's List and Home Advisor. Yep, Home Advisor, Angie's List, Yelp. I believe this one is in a like a lead gen site, not, but it's really cool. I've looked at it before. Angie's List in there, and then some local stuff. So this is a good indication. The volume's down. The numbers in here aren't horrible. I'm gonna be starting with a brand new website, so I'm probably looking at trying to capture this right here, and from the start, maybe even trying to get up in here from the start, and we'll see how that goes. And then what I want to do from that point is actually go into the search results. So I'll do Roofer Phoenix. It's got the Arizona. I don't need that. And I'll look at and see what the vertical is. So when I look at that, ideally I would probably do maps, right? So we might do maps. So I'm gonna look at these websites. I'm definitely gonna look at Lions Roofer. I'm gonna look at this one, this one, this one, and this one, and I don't care about the other 3 directories. So what I'm looking for here is some more keyword opportunities. So there's roofing system, that's an opportunity, services, residential, commercial, and I hate that. I need that. There's a couple more right there. Foam, tile, shingle, roofing. Let's see what else. And then roofing, and then Phoenix Roofing Company in Phoenix. So I would add those keywords to my list. And this is the first site. So what I do now is go to the next site and looking at the same thing. Roofing's there, commercial and residential. You see those. So I would check in my little box on my sheet that's there again. Roofing company is a new term, so I would add that to my sheet. And roofing company again, tile, shingle, commercial. Commercial is hit really heavy. And the call to action on this one is actually the phone number. So let's contact us. Let's see, is this a form? Yeah, so that's a form. Get a free estimate form. And then the phone number is actually click to call. So the call to action, I can do forms or I can do a click to call. And I've talked to a lot of contractors, and their forms are actually getting more engagement than their phone calls because people don't like talking to people, right? And the problem with that, especially for these guys, is I do the form, I call the estimate, and I don't fill out that form, lying their asses off. So you get a lot of that madness, and you're going to waste a lot of time with that. But obviously, the phone calls are important, so you drop those in there. Phoenix, let's look at this one. Roofing inspections, that's a new one. Remodeling is new. Roofing done the right way. Phone calls, obviously. Let's click this. Form submit. Remodeling's there. Roofing. So we mark those down. We need those. Areas served. This is smart right there. I wonder if that is. Oops. Nope, there's no interlinking. So it's smart and dumb at the same time. Let's see. And that's it. So I would mark that down. Roofing, remodeling, inspections, new word to the list. Commercial and residential, they're there again. Flat roofs, pitch roofs. This site here is the one I wanted to point out. It's really good, the model, I think. They're doing a great job with it. Especially if you're doing like a PPL thing. Come in here and swipe their design. Go to town. Form is there. Phone number is really highlighted. This is what they really want. but we'll do the form. So, but it's there, and then some maps and relevancy for location, and they actually link to their Google Maps. Let's see. Yep, links to Google Maps, and then the phone numbers again. Really good, strong play on the map. So my guess is they're trying to do Google Maps rankings, but we didn't see them in here, right? So let me highlight Phoenix, Stapleton, Rand Recording, do more businesses, Lynn's Roofing right there. So maybe not so much with the map linking. It might not be doing them very much good in that regard. Keywords wise, I don't see anything new. Best roofing companies, there's a new keyword right there. Best roofing companies in Phoenix and best roofing companies. Residential and commercial is back again. So we know for sure by now that we're going to put residential and commercial in there. Gutter installation is new. That's a good one. That's a good market. There's a lot of people looking for just for the gutter stuff. You can even do gutter cleaning if you want to. Kind of outsource some kids for that. Form request is there. Phone number CTR kind of it's not there, right? So you got to go all the way down here to get a phone number. Well, there's that, and I didn't even see that. So it kind of tells you they should probably work on that. So we know that that's what we don't want to do because we didn't see it, right? So we don't want to fill that out. Live chat, that's cute. That's a good thing if you got someone that can manage it and watch it. We won't be doing that. Yeah, the phone numbers here. There's a form again that'll lead to that, which is really good. Free roof evaluation. Another part of this, if you want to, like you see a lot of forms and your email submits and go in there and check what they're doing. What was that second to the last site that had that bigger form that worked out better? You might want to use that, right? Commercial warehouse apartments. They just got a single page for it. It's not too bad. Residential. That's it. There's no other stuff. It's kind of lame. Shingle re-roof, tile re-roof. So shingles, tiles, clay in Arizona would be good. Flat roof. There's a lot of those in Phoenix. And then more tile. So Arizona roofing, you'd probably want to focus on tile and flat roof, honestly, because of the sun just bakes these shingles off. Form submit, phone number is okay. Phoenix roofing repair. There's a new keyword for us. That's really the first site we've seen it on, right? And there's installation again. So we want to hit repair. Maybe there'd be an opportunity in there. We can go back in here and look at this one. Phoenix. Let's do repair. Roof repair, Phoenix, 320, $19. That's not too bad. It'd be worth it. There's 90 here, Phoenix. So roof repair, Phoenix. A good PPC campaign will tell you what the real traffic volume is. It's not a whole lot, so I wouldn't focus a whole lot on it. But those are decent jobs to get, so I would do it later. And so we'll just kind of write that down and annotate it on the list that we'll do it later. Roofing company. We didn't look at that one. Let's go. Residential. There's no Phoenix. There's no search volume there. At least I didn't even find it. I could run another one. I don't even know if I want to. I'll do it anyway. That should be quick because I didn't see the other ones. Canyon State Roofing. This makes, well, that's the brand, so that's okay. Commercials there. Locations are there. Commercial roofing contractors. You can see their new roof installations. roofing contractor. Let's see if contractor's in there. $210, $170, $260, $30 on average. Phoenix local roofing. Those are worth it. PPC with campaign will tell you how much, but I think that might be worth it. I probably put that with the roofing repair though. Do that last. Tile, shingles, metal. We see that corrugating roof, flat roof. These guys have been a little bit over the top on the extra ones, but tile roofing we know for sure. I've seen that on pretty much every site. So we're definitely going to talk about tile roofing and make a page for tile roofing on our website. And then from there, I just make a list. Really, just do what you do. Make a list and figure out your keyword list. Come back in here. You can drop them in one at a time, like I did this one, and maybe you can dig a little bit deeper if you wanted to, like some roof repair near me, roofing company near me, shingle roofing and roofing companies. Those are diamonds. Got diamonds indicated on there. I've tried to rank for this here. It's a little bit hard. So if you're gonna try this play here, expect some volatility. But for the most part, you can drop all those extra keywords in your stuff and rank those extra if you wanted to, or just make new pages for them. From what you do is just start a new list inside of the tool, and you can actually add a keyword phrase and start over, or go and do the close. Put your whole new list in there now that you just built. So let's say I use that one list that I had before this one, and I built this all out, and now I just want these and get rid of the rest of the noise. And you can pop them in there and save your project. And at the end of the day, that's how I do it. And what happens from there is I take that list and I'll actually throw that in a PPC campaign, drop $100, put those keywords in there, make my targeting only the Phoenix area. Like if I was going to just do Phoenix, I'm worried about just Phoenix. Make my targeting only the Phoenix area and see how many true impressions for the keyword there are, and then maybe how much traffic I can get from the click. And then estimating based off of impressions and I can look at what the estimated click-through rate for top 1, 2, and 3 positions, and that'll tell me if I'm wasting my time. We all know that roofing is a decent market. You can actually, do really good with that. So I know I won't be wasting my time, right? Just from based off of knowledge experience, but you can do the same thing with pretty much any app or something that, like remote control cars, for example. Open that one up. I can go through the same process, and I know what I'm looking for. Cars for kids is really good. Cars for girls, gas powered RC, remote control cars for adult. You can niche out and pick some really good, expensive cars, for example. And you can see I'm just doing a little bit of research in this market just because I have a RC domain I want to monetize with some affiliate stuff. So that's it. That's my keyword process in a nutshell. I have a spreadsheet that I use to keep track of CTRs, especially if I'm using I want to do a PPL model, and I have that spreadsheet that I drop in there and manage all that. You can use this data to build your site silos and all that stuff. I'll teach you all that in what ranks in my on-page course when I get around to doing that. That part of it too is how to take all of this keyword research and put it into like a Lucid chart or whatever, map out your entire website, your primary and secondary keywords. You can know where you're going with your entities and your schema, all that and stuff, even before you have a web design. So that's at the end of the day, that's the real value of doing positive, good keyword research. And I think Keith Evans, he asked me a question on Facebook. So let me open up Facebook real quick and I can get to him. I'll get to his question. And while I do that, if you have any more questions, any other questions, or a question, drop it into the chat on the YouTubes. There you go. What is the validity of searches for the query? So, um, basically, how valid is this number? And sadly, the fact of the matter is, regardless of the tool you're using, you're going to get different numbers. I could take that same keyword into SEMrush or any other tool and get a different number set from there because they're all based off of different things, right? All it is at the end of the day, especially in these tools, is your an estimate to get you started and point you in the right direction. So think of it that way. Well, 74,000 looks great. We can all know that I'm probably not going to see 74,000 visitors from this if I could rank for it. And, maybe even a quarter of that. And that's also wrapped into all there's exact match and then there's phrase match, right? And Google is renowned for taking that exact match and adding all those related phrases to it, and because it's closely to, so like all of these would be in here, but in truth, this is the number they give you, but really it's not even half of that, right? So that's where the PPC stuff comes in. So technically, they're giving you money. So they're charging you money for clicks and then charging you for and they're showing your ads the impression counts, and that stuff has to be like really accurate, because if not, then they're committing fraud, right? So if they're overcharging or they're saying, oh, you're seeing all these impressions, but they're not actually showing you the impressions, that's fraud. So those numbers are way more accurate, and that's why I like to use the PPC model to just verify that I'm not wasting my time. And you don't even have to spend your whole $100. I said put $100 in that campaign. You don't have to do that. You just do it long enough to see how much is for the week. Let it run for a week, even if you don't even get one click. But if you're number one in the ad slit, you don't get one click. You're not paying for everything, so you get a week's worth of impression data. Multiply that times 4, and there's your estimated monthly search volume. Let's see. Any tools or suggestions for user intent? No, honestly, the for user intent that is really looking at the search manually and figuring out what's there. What are they looking for? Things that you might think are a whatchamacallit, a buyer term. Google might think or has been taught that it's a informational term. Best rated remote control cars, for example. I want to buy the best remote control car. That's an informational term. Even if I put I wanted to buy the best remote control car, then they might give me some Google shopping ads and stuff, but for the most part, the organic results are going to be what? It's going to be informational, best list, right? The affiliate sites, those are going to be all in there. So you have to, at the end of the day, it's going to take you going to Google, verifying what the vertical is, verifying your keywords, and then making sure that you're making a page that fits the keyword intent. And the keyword intent is the same at this point as the user intent. So navigational, informational, commercial, right? Let's see what I got else. Question in the audience: for local pages, do you think it's better to link to the business map or embed it? It really depends on um, site speed and hosting. Like if you got your website on cheap hosting, you're bogging it down a little bit, then really at the end of the day, just a backlink will do. I prefer to use the embeds on my maps if I'm going to take the time to do a map, because I get the link back to the map, right, and build that association, which may boost the map in local search. And two, I tie my business to the map and say this is that, help establish that entity. So embed if you can, but if it's slowing down your website and stuff, then a link is perfectly fine. And schema, either way. How would you reverse engineer a Google Maps listing? I Full disclosure, I hate Google Maps. Like it's spam driven, right? There's so much spam in there, and then they have the narc SEOs that run around and claim that they're policing the maps up for everybody, but really they're just telling on people that have figured out that Google could give two craps less about the quality of maps because they want to monetize it. So if there's more PPL and affiliates and quote unquote spam maps in there, you therefore as a local business are more likely to pay for a Google Maps ad because the Google Maps has a good CTR rate. So Google has zero interest really, other than PR, zero interest in fixing maps. So um, for at the what you're looking at is the same stuff that everyone is doing, right? It's um, closer to the centroid of where you want your buyers to come from, exact match text inside of the business name, linking the website to it, etc. So you just go through and look at the rest of the listings right there, and you can kind of follow along that pattern. Whoever's ranking higher, typically they have the exact match keyword or a very close variation in their brand business name. Their reviews mention the business name. Maybe their post mention the business name. And it's at the end of the day, that's what does it. You know, I've seen I got an Indian guy that we used to work with, and that's he'll do a map and rank it with the exact match, and everyone else just gets pushed right down. And he's not doing anything but making the map and doing exact match in the business name. So take that for what it is. That's why I hate maps. Really, you do all that work. Let's say you're a smart business owner, and you know you do Phoenix or let's go Fred's Phoenix Roofer, Fred's Roofing of Phoenix. You got your exact match in there, and you put that as your business name. And then the Joy Hawkins crew comes on and reports you for narc SEO because you were smart enough to put that in your business name. And they didn't bother to look up your business license. They didn't bother to check that out and see if you were legit, or go to the Arizona Contractors Registry. They don't; those people don't can give two f's lefts if you're legitimately a roofing business if they have a client in your area. And that goes for everybody. Your competition can do it. Anyone just take your maps down and stuff. And honestly, it's just a game for me that risk versus reward. Like, you know, you can make a whole business off of maps, but every 3 months you're rebuilding 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? I know PPL guys. They make five, 6 figures for maps, and then Google comes out, wipes their entire business out, and they got to start all over again. 3 months later, everything's back up, and they do it again, and then whap, Google comes back and wipes it all over again. Like, what's the point of that madness? Screw that. You're asking the wrong maps guy. Let's see. His follow up was he's got a competitor that's listing, is kicking it and asking rank. Yeah. Um, Not ranking. I've seen maps that aren't even claimed that are collecting reviews. They're not claimed and not linking the websites in their ranking. It's all it's the exact match, dude. That's what it is. Exact match, fake reviews with more keywords stuffing in it. If you want to go that route, I didn't see a lot of effort when I was doing it from reviews. Posts, you can do it too. So, and then playing around. All right, I don't see any more questions. 48 minutes. It's a really good show. I forget who it was that asked to see the keyword research stuff. Hopefully that was informational for you and kind of give you a different approach to keyword research. It's, as I said before, I've said it on this show, I said it on Fight Club, and anyone that asked me to talk about keyword research, it's more than looking at search volume. You got to look at your competition. You got to look at the verticals. You got to look at what the conversion point is, and you got to look at the other words that everyone's using in that area that you're targeting in order to do proper keyword research. If you skip those steps, if all you're doing is looking at search volume, you're absolutely setting yourself up for failure. unless you already know that market. You know what I mean? You already know all that other information, then you just go to search volume and do it. But if you're not, if you're going into a brand new market, you skip those steps, you're absolutely setting yourself up for failure. So, one way or another, you're gonna find out that you have to do all that stuff. So you might as well do it from the beginning before you even start designing anything near a website. So, again, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you coming. Oh, there's another question jumped in. Do you think it's worth the time to create a Google stack to push topical relevance to the local page, stuffing the stack with keywords? It depends. I am in, as you guys know, I own, or I'm part of a co-owner with Dory Friend and SIA. The link's down there in the description if you want to join. I did testing, and there is a specific way that Google has negated the effectiveness of Google Drive. That Google Drive encompasses everything except for Google Sites when I reference Google Drive. So Google Sites I have not tested, but everything else I have tested. And the new way that they have those set up, if you create a brand new one manually or you have someone do it and they don't know that how to set up the folders and share them properly, Google has successfully knocked down any linking power from them whatsoever. So if it's not passing link juice, then it's not probably not passing relevancy, right? So unless you have the specific way to keep them under the old public format, if you don't know that or you haven't tested that with specific tools and stuff, then your stacks are wasting. You're wasting your money on stacks. So keep that in mind. I would tell you for free, but people pay money for SIA. So short version is watch out who you buy it for, buy them from, because you may not be getting what you're paying for at the end of the day. So, all right, that's it. So thank you all for coming, and I will see you next week on SEO this week. And have a great week.